Do you want to know why you're struggling to change your life? Do you want to know why it feels like no matter what you do, you just cannot reinvent yourself? Here's why. You're probably more focused on your external world than you are your internal world, because you think that change happens from the outside in, but change really happens from the inside out. It's not the amount of followers, it's not the amount of money, it's not the man, it's not the job, it's not the car, it's not the house. It's not any of that. It's your internal world that has to change first so that your external world can change. Because if you don't change your internal world, you won't be able to do the stuff that you need to do to have what you want to have. For example, if I don't change my internal world and I think that money is the problem, I feel like the problem is I need more money. But right now I can't manage $1,000. If somebody gave me $100,000, I wouldn't know what to do with it, because my external world changed, but I didn't change. So I'm the same person that can't manage $1,000. You gave me more money. I'm not going to be able to do better with that. I'm going to still do the same thing that I was doing before with $1,000, which means that eventually I might lose that $100,000. So you have to focus on your internal world. It's the internal world that determines what you see on the external. So in this video, I want to show you a program that I'm using. It's called the Reinvent Yourself Challenge. And in this challenge, you focus all on your external. And I'm going to show you what this challenge looks like in the next clip. Okay, so here is how you get to the Reinvent Yourself Challenge. Again, it's 8 days. And the first day, the first part is a video. It's about 7 minutes long. And if you want to, you could just pop in your earphones and listen to it while you are cleaning up or driving or just doing something that you need to get done. So that's what I'm about to do. I'm about to listen to this while I clean up. God is a God that cannot lie, which means that whatever God says is truth. So whoever God says you are and whatever God says you can do, that is the true you. The law of polarity states that everything has an opposite, which means that if there's a true you, a false you must exist as well. So who would your false self be? It's the version of yourself that is the opposite of who God says you are. Since the true you is rooted in truth, your false self is rooted in lies. When you're operating as the true you, you'll know it, because you'll have peace, joy, love, fulfillment, confidence, patience, faith, trust. On the other hand, when you're operating as your false self, you'll feel fear, worry, impatience, not good enough, pride, stubbornness, powerless, judgment. The problem is, knowing when you're operating as your false self isn't always obvious in the moment, when you don't know what to be on the lookout for, and when you're not aware of what you're doing because you're going through life on autopilot. A lot of us are moving through life on autopilot, with the settings stored in our subconscious mind guiding us. Your subconscious mind is the part of your mind that stores all of the information you've collected over the years, and it uses that information to tell you how to operate. It's because of your subconscious mind that you're able to make decisions throughout the day without really thinking about it, which is helpful when you have settings that work in your favor, settings rooted in truth. But when you have settings rooted in lies, you're spending most of your day operating as your false self without even thinking about it. These settings were formed when you observe situations or information, process it, and then stored it away in your subconscious mind. What we processed and stored away was either the truth or a lie. For instance, I'm going to show you how it works. Say you grew up as a middle child who didn't get much attention. One day, while in the grocery store with your family, you get distracted by something on the shelf. So you stop and you looked at it for a little longer. Your family doesn't notice, so they keep walking. Once you've examined what caught your eye long enough, you look up, ready to rejoin your family, only to realize that they are not there. Instantly, you feel fear. Thoughts of being left in the store, never seeing your family again, race through your head. You search and search, but still you can't find them. Accepting defeat and the possibility that you'll be alone forever, you begin to cry. An employee sees you and asks, "Are you okay?" and who you are with. You share your story while you're sobbing. They ask how old you are. You tell them 5. She gives you a hug and tells you everything is going to be okay. Then walks you to the front of the store to the customer service counter. At the counter, another employee makes an announcement over the PA system. They call your parents to the front desk. 5 minutes later, you see your family. There's a look of relief on everyone's face. They thank the employees for their help, and before you know it, you guys are off on your way. During the car ride home, you process what happened, reliving the experience and how it made you feel. You ask yourself how your family could have forgotten you. Why didn't they notice you weren't right there behind them? Eventually, you come to the conclusion that they must not care for you very much at all, that you must not matter if they're able to leave you behind so easily. Your perception of yourself is forever changed, all because of this one event. From that moment on, the way you show up in the world changes. You always feel like you need to prove yourself to others. You constantly seek outside validation. People-pleasing has become your new norm because deep down inside, you have this setting that you don't matter, dictating the way you think, feel, and behave. And because of it, you're not the person you actually want to be. Now, from the outside looking in, you're probably able to see clearly that the idea that you don't matter just isn't true at all. But as a child who just had a traumatic experience and no blueprint on how to process it, it's easy for you to come to the conclusion that you don't matter. To you, this truth, this lie is the truth. And it becomes a setting that fuels your false self, a setting that overpowers the actual truth. When there are more settings in your subconscious mind based on truth, it's easy for you to experience faith, confidence, patience, trust, power, connection. But if there are more settings in your subconscious mind based on lies, it's equally as easy for you to experience fear, confusion, worry, powerlessness on autopilot. And that's what's so scary. A lot of us spend our time living our lives operating on as our false self. And we aren't even aware that we're doing it. But we feel the frustration. We feel the discomfort. We feel the feeling that we're meant for more. But until we step out of autopilot, we can never step into the fullness of who God says we truly are. So right now, that must be your first decision. You have to decide that from this moment forward, you will raise your awareness to who you are being. Once you've made that decision, you can move on to step 2. So the next thing you need to do is create a filter so that it's easy to recognize whether you're operating as your true self or your false self. So here's the filter. Anytime you feel like you lack something, you're operating as your false self. And vice versa. Whenever you feel like you have everything you need, you're operating as your true self. God didn't make a mistake with you when He made you, and He gave you everything you need to overcome any obstacle or situation that you may be in. Whatever you lack, He has an abundance of for you, which means you still lack nothing. You have everything you need to achieve the purpose God has for you and live an abundant life. It's simply your job to remember this and operate from this state. You have to see yourself as someone who has everything they need to overcome any obstacle or situation that you are in. Repeat that to yourself. I have everything I need. I have everything I need to overcome any obstacle or situation that I am ever in. Now, seeing yourself through this new filter of having everything you need, you have to decide who you are. So that was the first part of day 1. That was the video. And I didn't even play the whole thing just for time's sake. I did not want this video to be longer than it needed to be. So to listen to the whole thing, you're gonna have to sign up. But I want to go over the questions, the exercises with you guys. So I'm gonna read the paragraph before the exercises. I'm a little out of breath because if you just saw, I was doing a whole lot of cleaning. But anyways, here we goes. Here we go. There's a quote that goes, okay, let me not skip the top part. So this exercise, the name of day 1 exercise is called identity. Okay. There's a quote that goes, you can't control what happens to you. You can only control how you respond to what happens to you. If this quote were true, and it is, then that will also mean we can't control life's outcomes. We can only control how we show up. Make sense? Having a desire to control outcomes is one of the biggest signs that you're operating as your false self, because as I mentioned in the PowerPoint, when you're operating as your false self, you feel like you don't have everything you need, or in other words, like you're missing something. This feeling that you're missing something creates an obsession with getting what you think is missing, rather than desire to control how you show up. For instance, if you're missing a husband, it creates an obsession to find the right man, which is the outcome, rather than being the best future wife you can be, which is how you show up. God, I'm out of breath. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna get it together. I have a reason, but I ain't gonna tell y'all. Okay. Anyways, ironically enough, if you were more concerned with how you show up than you were with the outcomes, you'd have a better chance of getting the outcome you desire. Why? Because how you show up influences your outcome. When you show up as your false self, trying to control everything, you cut yourself off from all the possibilities because you think it has to happen one way. But when you show up as your true self, surrendering your need for control, you open yourself up to all possibilities because you're not attached to things happening one way. And when there is no attachment, you are limitless. You might have to read that one again to understand it. But for time's sake, I'm not about to do that. So now the question becomes, how do you want to show up? Because again, you can't control the outcome, but you can control how you show up. That was deep. So let's listen. I'm going to do the questions with you. So here is the first question. How have you been showing up? Think about your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors over the last 30 days. Use the space below to describe how you've been showing up. So the question is, over the last 30 days, I have been showing up. Over the last 30 days, honestly, I'm going to tell the truth. I'm going to keep it 100. I've been very inconsistent. And I don't even think so I'm going to put very inconsistent. I wouldn't say that I've been like unmotivated, because I have been motivated to do something. The problem is there's this like doubt in the back of my mind, like that things aren't going to work out just because of previous experiences and things that I've been trying to achieve and they haven't been happening. So I'm not going to put unmotivated. I'm going to put I've been showing up full of doubt. I'm sure there's a word for that. I don't want to say it's cynical because that sounds really bad, but or really extreme. And maybe I have been cynical. I don't know, but very inconsistent, full of doubt. I've been like, it's like I've been wishy-washy. Like one day I'm good. It's been high and low. So I guess that goes with inconsistent. One day I'm good. The next day I'm like very lazy. I'm not getting much done. The next day I'm super productive. So again, that goes with the very inconsistent. So I'm gonna just leave it at that. The second question is, how do you want to show up? You may already know the answer to this question. If so, you can go ahead and write your answer down in the space below or in a notebook. If you're unsure of how to answer, try this. Imagine living your dream life. Visualize all the external details, the type of house you live in, car you drive, job you have, marriage or relationships you have, how you spend your free time, what a day in your life will look like, etc. Take 30 to 60 seconds to do this before moving on. So I'm going to visualize all the external details of my dream life. The type of house I would live in would be probably like a 6-bedroom. Do they even make those? Probably not. So maybe like a 5-bedroom, 6-7 bath, because I got a lot of kids. And I want like a 2 to 3 car garage because I love parking in a garage. If you don't know anything about parking in a garage, let me tell you, it'll change your whole life. I hate parking outside of my garage now because when it's cold outside, then you gotta wait for your windows to defrost when you wake up in the morning to go somewhere. And then like one year it was snowing. I didn't have to wipe any snow off of my car. I could just pull right out. That's a next level like convenience, next level luxury. Really, really soft girl, really I'm just the girl type of life. So yes, it has to have like 2 to 3 car garage. I really want a pool and I want a game room for my kids. I want to say playroom / game room, a man cave for my man, because he be having his stuff in like the common areas, so he need a designated area for his stuff. Yeah, so I'm just visualize all of that. I just told y'all that type of house I live in, how I spend my free time. I'll probably be traveling a lot. What a day in my life would look like, probably run around behind my kids, making YouTube content, working on my businesses, stuff like that. Okay, now imagine the internal details, the type of person you be in this life, how you would think, feel, and behave, what your energy would be like. Take 30 to 60 seconds to do this before moving on. So the type of person I would be like in this life, I feel like I would be very consistent, very level-headed. Like I would be able to make decisions under pressure, like very patient, very grateful. I would just have really, really good energy. Okay, so now take this version of yourself, pluck her from that dream life and place her in your current life. Imagine how she would show up in the life you have now. Okay, so that's a good way to answer that question. So I want to show up. I'm going to say more intentional, because again, I said that I've just been very inconsistent, very all over the place, very distracted. It's like I have good intentions, but then I have this doubt in the back of my mind. So instead of doing what I want to do because I feel like it'll actually lead me to where I want to be, I end up scrolling TikTok or scrolling Facebook or watching Netflix, because I feel like what I'm about to, like the thing that I really know I need to do, if I did it, I wouldn't get the results that I want to get anyways, so I wouldn't do it. But I want to show up more intentional. I want to, like what they said, I want to just focus more on how I show up than the outcome. Because the reason why I haven't been doing the things that I know that I need to do is because I've been more concerned with trying to control the outcome and less worried about how I show up. But if I just worried about how I show up, like what it just said, then I would be more likely to actually achieve the outcome, because I'm doing the stuff that I need to do in order for it to happen. But if I'm trying to control the outcome and then I'm worried about it and I'm full of doubt, so I don't do anything, there's 100% chance, 110% chance that I'm not going to achieve what I want to achieve, because I'm not even taking any action. So I want to be more intentional. I want to have more patience. Like I just don't want to like be in such a rush to get where it is that I feel like I'm supposed to be. That's one of my biggest problems. I feel like I'm supposed to be farther ahead by now. I'm supposed to have this, I'm supposed to have this. So it's really just my expectations of how life should be that is really getting in the way of me just fully enjoying this moment and where I am in life right now, because I'm living in answered prayers right now. Like where I am right now, I really prayed to be here, but I'm taking it for granted because I'm just so focused on, okay, what's next? So I really want to show up more patient. What else? I want to have more gratitude. Yeah. Because I'm grateful. But again, like I just said, I take things for granted. So I just want to have more gratitude for what I have, really appreciate what I have, really like just be more present, especially with my kids. I feel like they're just growing up so fast and I'm not missing the moment, but we could be doing more together. We could be making more memories. We could be having more fun, you know? So I want to be more grateful. What else? How else do I want to show up? I want to show up more confident, for sure. And I want to, what else? I want to have good energy. That's a must. So I want to show up with good energy. And I want to be more structured. I want to show up more structured. I want to like actually set a plan for my day, like create a plan in the morning and stick to what I said I was going to do. Because the problem be sometimes I can make a to-do list and I don't do what I said I'm going to do. If I would just do what I said I was going to do, then I probably would have achieved a lot more by now. So I want to be more structured. And I need that for my kids too, because we be struggling. We be all over the place. My kids need some more structure too, especially my 1-year-old, because my goodness, that girl thinks she run things. Okay, so that's how I want to show up. More intentional, more patient. I want to show up with more gratitude, more confidence. I want to show up with good energy. I want to show up more structured. or the last part of this exercise is to create a to-do list. So it says, now that you have an idea of how you want to show up in general, visualize how you want to show up today specifically. Take 30 to 60 seconds to visualize this before moving on. Use the space below or notebook to create a to-do list. Remember, you can't control the outcomes. You can only control how you show up. And they have an example to-do list. So it says, visualize how you want to show up today, then create a to-do list. That's basically all I have to do. I've already visualized how I wanted to show up today because it asked me in the last prompt. So I'm just looking at my answers. I said I wanted to be more intentional, more patient, more. I wanted to show up with more gratitude, more confidence, good energy, and more structure. So to create a to-do list, I'm gonna just think about how I said I wanted to show up. So I said I wanted to be more intentional, more patient, more grateful. One of the things that I could do today to have that energy, to be more patient, to be more intentional, to be more grateful, is I can write like a love letter or a love note to my kids and to my man, just to show them how much I appreciate them and how grateful I am for them. How grateful I am for them. Did I say it right? I did. So I'm gonna write that down. I'm going to write my kids, my man and my kids, a love letter. Okay. And then in order to be more structured, I'm gonna set time limits for social media on my phone. And I'm going to actually delete what I be on the most, which is Facebook and Instagram. So I'm going to delete those apps completely from my phone. So set time limits for social media, because I don't really be on TikTok like that. It's like that's what most people be on. I get up there, but it's not like I don't be up there as much. Mainly because I really be on social media for real, for real. It's supposed to be for my business, but lately I haven't been posting nothing. So it's like, what are you getting up there for? And honestly, if I need to post something, I could just re-download it, post what I need to post, and then delete it. So I'm gonna write that down for my to-do list, set time limits. And then to be more structured, I also can set alarms for the things that I need to do so that I am not forgetting the things that I have on my to-do list, because one of the things that I want to put up here also is to read my Bible. So I'm going to set an alarm at 5 o'clock to read my Bible so that I don't forget to do it. And what else? I want to be more intentional. What else could I do? I could also have a movie night, game night with my kids tonight. And it doesn't even have to be a long game. We can play like charades. We can play Jenga, like just something quick, a 15-minute thing that we can do. We can spend time together, and instead of us just doing our own thing all night long, barely seeing each other before they go to bed, we can actually do something together. So it'll be no phones, no devices, no screens, just spending family quality time together. So we're gonna have a game night. So that is what I'm gonna put down. Oh, and one more thing I want to make sure that I put down is to get 5,000 steps, because I don't really be walking like I should, because me and my girl, my 1-year-old, we be in the house with my kids in school because it be cold outside and I don't really be able to go on my walks like I want to. But I have a treadmill, so I can still walk on that, and I'm gonna do what I said to be more structured, which is set an alarm. So probably at like 8 o'clock tonight, I'm gonna walk on my treadmill. Actually, I probably shouldn't put it at late. I'm gonna say 7. And I'm gonna just walk, listen to a podcast, and watch a movie, and I can get 5,000 steps in like no time. Maybe like an hour. I gotta put a little pep in my step, but I can get 5,000 steps. Not including all of the walking I'm gonna be doing around the house, doing stuff like cleaning up. I have to finish upstairs because y'all did not see me clean upstairs because I have not done that. So that's also needs to be on my to-do list. Finish cleaning upstairs. And again, this is not about controlling outcomes. So I want to remember that. It's not about me trying to control the outcome. It's not about me focusing on what I am doing and how things are turning out. It's about me focusing on who I am being in each situation. So while I'm having this game night, making sure that I'm being grateful, not rushing the process, and making sure that I'm being patient, not being impatient, not being irritated, I don't know, whatever could be happening that I don't like. Just being present in the moment, enjoying the moment, being grateful for the moment with my kids. So it's not about the outcome. I'm not trying to control the outcome. I'm just trying to control who I am being, who I am showing up as, if that makes sense, because that's really all I can control. But yeah, that's part 3 of this exercise, and that is my to-do list. This was the first part. This is day 1 of the Reinvent Yourself program. What I like about this is that it takes you through the actual steps of reinvention. You could do it right here and there, like right here and right now, because I think the problem is we sit and we watch all these YouTube videos. We sit and we read all these books, but then we don't apply what we read. This makes you apply it right here and right now, because it actually gives you the space to like do the work right here, right now. Like if I'm watching a YouTube video and they're giving me step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, if I don't take it upon myself to take no notes, then I'm not going to remember what they said, and I'm going to go on to the next video and I'm not going to apply any of what they said. So what good is it going to do me if I don't apply if I don't apply these great ideas and these great tips? So I like this because you can go ahead and just you have the space to, all right, I'm going to be accountable and I'm going to do it right now. But yeah, this is day 1. It's completely free if you want to do it for yourself, if you want to fill it out for yourself. I'm going to put the link up here for the program, for the challenge, so that you can join yourself. Again, it's all about your internal. So if you have been struggling to win in life, if you've been struggling to level up, if you've been struggling to glow up, if you're watching all this content and nothing is changing, it's probably because you're focused more on changing your outside than changing your inside. So with this, the biggest thing that I take away from it is that I can't control my outcomes, but I can control how I show up. I can't control whether I'm going to make 10 sales, 1,000 sales in my business. I can't control whether I'm going to get 1,000 likes, 10,000 likes on my last video. But I can control whether I post. I can control how I post, what I look like when I post, the type of content that I put out. I can control how much energy and effort and what I put into my business. Like I can control those things. So I'm gonna focus on controlling those. I can control having good energy. I can control being patient. So I'm gonna make sure that today I said that I wanted to be more patient, more grateful, more confident. I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna work on having more patience. Anytime that I notice that I'm not doing like that, I'm rushing, I'm gonna say, okay, you said you want to be more patient. Now's your time to practice it. Anytime that I notice that I'm not being grateful, you say you want to be grateful. Now's your time to practice that. I can control those things. So yeah, that was day 1. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I definitely hope that you take the time to join the Reinvent Yourself challenge. Again, I'm gonna put the link because I want you to actually change internally so that your external changes. The point is, if I do all of these things, eventually I'm going to see the payoff in my external world. There's going to be a reward of me changing myself. But if I stay the same, if I stay negative, for sure, nothing around me is going to change. I'm rambling. Again, I got to go because I got to go pick up my kids. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe. I'm going to put out more content like this on the regular because I'm working on being consistent. Again, check out the program, Reinvent Yourself challenges at glovo.com. Okay, bye. I really hope that recorded because that would suck. I sat here and said all of that. My back.